never going to be satisfied, but there's a completely different feel. And I said that last week after that game. We don't want to make too big of a deal of one game or two games, but the reality is these are different feelings. And I mean that in the sense of last year was almost sometimes a relief that you won a football game. This is guys with a true euphoria to how they play and the ability to play together and handle some adversity. It definitely is a different feel, and I think these guys are really starting to not just build that stuff within the locker room, but starting to gain a lot of confidence in what it is they can do.
As someone who's been around rival games pretty much your entire football career, to win a rival game tonight, does it add more juice to the celebration?
There's no doubt. I mean, these guys, we've talked about it, and the 120-some year history of the rivalry. We talked about on Tuesday what the rivalry is really about. It's about respect. It's respecting the game, respecting your opponent, and the way you prepare. And I'm proud to say these guys will do a bunch of different adversity we've had this entire week, and getting home at 6 o'clock in the morning, they believed in the rivalry, they trusted it, they respected it, and they went out and played well.
You were pretty hard on these guys this week in practice. Did you get the result that you wanted out of them emotionally, or?
Yeah, and I think that there's one of those things as we start to build the things that we want, and the guys start to gain the confidence and feel better about what it is that they're doing, and know that we can push them a little more. Sometimes it's tough in the situations of last year where you're getting to know these guys. They don't know how much you really care deep down inside, and when you're struggling, it's tough. So now we're at that point now where these guys are starting to believe in everything that we do and seeing some success and now having the ability to increase those expectations on them. I mean that on a daily basis.
Given the conditions, how significant was the performance of your defense today?
It's great. I mean, there's not many shutouts today in college football. From where we were last year and where we are right now defensively, and I don't just mean the ability to make big plays. I mean the ability to leverage the football, the ability to tackle so much better, the ability to trust and believe in one another, and with a lot of different situations and the elements and the shifts and the motions and things like that. We didn't have to hold back on anything, and it's because these guys have really kind of taken to it.
Has Desmond taken over the job at this point?
He continues to impress us all, and I mean Hayden went in and did a great job too. We don't have a holding penalty. I mean he gets us a first down, a huge spot in the game. So we keep kind of talking to those guys. We had a plan going in, wasn't expecting the conditions to be quite this bad, and wanted to make sure that we got Hayden in there on the third series, and it didn't quite happen like that. But he was right there ready to roll, and the two of those guys are going to continue to make each other better.
Does it give you the ability to run the ball like you talked about last year?
He does. I mean, not just the ability to run the football. Guys are going to load the box. He gives our running backs the ability to have a little bit more space sometimes too, because people got to honor him. And, it's not that we can't throw the football. Tonight was a unique situation. It's really difficult to throw the football in a game like this, in the conditions like this. But we can throw the football, and we will throw the football, and that's going to be able to open it up and balance us up a lot better.
They tried to go to Gardner a lot. I mean, obviously you knew that was going to be a key. Were you satisfied with the way the corners were?
Well, I'll tell you what, the guy I brought up in the locker room there was Terrell Gilbert. And he gave up the first, I wouldn't say gave up, the guy caught the first ball of the game on him, the very first play of the game. And I'm not sure when he was on Gilbert, he might have touched the ball again. And Terrell did a great job. He just, he didn't panic. He continued to battle. And he almost had probably 2 picks on some of those balls too. And so I'm proud of what he's done. I'm proud of what he did tonight, not just the way he played, but the way he handled himself emotionally, even after getting the first ball caught on him.
Do you usually have a corner follow receiver like that, or was that?
We didn't. No, he's a boundary receiver, so he's into the boundary a lot. Probably one of his other catches was to the field, so they moved him over to the field, maybe to get him off of Gilbert. And just that matchup and the physical abilities of Gilbert too, and so it gave him a little bit more space, and I think that was another catch he had. But we didn't match him up and go all the way traveling around with him. It's just how we play.
How much more aggressive can you be when you have a front seven playing like they are right now?
Everybody has stuff to be aggressive. It's, do you really have the confidence in them in a game like this? Do you have the confidence to keep bringing some pressures and playing some man, knowing, oh no, what happens if somebody slips? I mean, we all have histories of those kinds of things. But the confidence that you build and the belief you build in what those guys can do allows you to do that more, to be more aggressive, to call those things, and even in these kinds of situations. And I think the guys understand that too. They start to realize how much confidence you have in them, and that builds their confidence level and their swag, so to speak. So we're in a good place.
With the offensive line in this condition, how
impressed were you with their play?
You know what I'm most impressed with is they didn't panic. You know, in the offense in general, Coach Denbrock and all those guys over there, you know, your things aren't quite going. They're stuffing the box. They're blitzing off the edge. You know, but they didn't panic. They didn't go away from the game plan and the weather conditions and what we were going to do, even though that wasn't quite working to start with. And sometimes you just got to impose your will. Sometimes you just got to kind of grind it out. And you know, towards the end there, you start to see a little bit of that start to take over with those guys up front. So I'm happy, really proud of them. But I'm most proud of the way they're maturing and growing and not panicking on some of those situations.
How rare is it to have a guy like Mike Warren that seems to get better the more you give him the ball instead of wear down?
He's unique, and he's just a ball player. And, you know, he's going to continue. He's only a sophomore. He's going to continue to get better. There's a lot of the things that he can do that we'll continue to build on. He's really a good pass receiver. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get Jared Dokes, and you saw Tavion Thomas tonight there get an opportunity. So there's some other guys we're building a lot of confidence in to give them some shots as well.
Miami never entered the red zone. Did you guys talk about not giving up a lot of big plays throughout preparation?
I mean, that's kind of a philosophy of us in general, to be able to leverage the football. But you know, it's a unique situation too. They got down there a little bit close there in the first half, and you know, we kind of got greedy ourselves on a third down penalty. Say, hey, let's push them back to fourth down, you know, because we believe in what we're doing, and we don't want them to be anywhere close to that red zone, have any opportunity to maybe kick a field goal too.